What's going on? Plan C coming at you with an NFL Week 3 breakdown. Woohoo! Talking about rookie QBs, talking about 3-0 Vikes, Cowboys, 49ers. We get into it talking about contracts and all that, current games, future games. It's fantastic. Can't wait for you to listen. Thank you for checking out the Plan C podcast. Always a joy to have people checking us out. If you haven't already, make sure you are following us or subscribe to us on Apple, YouTube, or Spotify. We are there. We are waiting for you. Come on, say hello. Check out our previous episodes. Stay tuned for future episodes. And, check out our old YouTube content. We used to stream on there, so there's some fun Among Us stuff, when the pandemic was raging. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. This is going to come out on a Wednesday. No, wait, not on a Wednesday. On a Tuesday. I have my days mixed up. Sorry, y'all. This will come out on a Tuesday. I'll say late afternoon, early evening. So good evening if you are listening. Or good morning. I don't know. I don't control when you listen to it. But when you do, hope you're having a great day. Anyway, please enjoy the episode. If we have takes you disagree with, let us know. We're not always the most put together take artists, but we still get them out there. Anyway, make sure you check out that other stuff I told you about. Instagram, Twitter, Plan C Podcast. Check us out. Hope you're having a good one. Enjoy this episode, and peace.
No problem. I've still got Plan C. Ladies and gentlemen.
And welcome back. New week of football. New Plan C. You know the vibes. As always, joined by AJ. AJ, how are you doing, my guy?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm all right. It was a bittersweet football weekend for me. My Saints lost a really stupid winnable game. But both my fantasy teams won. My newly acquired quarterback did very well. Shout out Lamar Jackson. I also made the wise decision of not entering back into the survivor pool that we are both part of because I went. I was.
Who would you have picked?
Who would I have picked? Ooh, that's a really good question.
Another for reference, we're in the Survivor League. There's about 240 people is what it started with. Pick one team a week each week to win. You can buy back in up until week 10. Done this for a few years. I just went back and looked for reference. Last year, week 1, 13 people lost. Week 2, 11 people lost. Week 3, 100 people lost. But then week 4, there's 30 people lost. This year, there have been 150.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
There were 150 plus losses every single week so far this year, and there was 160 some losses this week again.
Who would I have taken this week?
I took the Bucks.
Oh, brutal.
A lot of people lost that. A lot of people picked the Raiders. A lot of people picked San Fran.
I would have maybe picked the Jets. I think San Fran is also a lock I would have had, but maybe I actually think I would have gone with Seattle, just because I would have loved the match. I would have Seattle or the Lions, I think, because I don't think I would have taken the Bills. Certainly not the Chiefs. Definitely not the Ravens. I wouldn't have touched Panthers Raiders, even though I'm a sick fuck and actually bet on that game and won money from that game. Bears Colts I wouldn't have touched. Vikings Texans maybe I would have taken the Texans. I don't know though. What are you trying to say?
It's been a weird year. It's been a
weird
weird
football year.
Ton of upsets.
And the defenses have been playing so well, people are like, should the NFL ban the too high safety? Which, first of all, no. Offenses just do better. That's what the defenses had to do, you know? Um, so it's been an interesting evolution, because I feel like since I've really been since I've been like tapped into football, which I would say is like since 2011, it's always been a sort of high scoring league. And numbers were always very high in my memory. And I always kind of thought it was just going to keep going, keep going, keep going. But we've hit an inflection point now. So very interesting. Anyway, let's get to it. I think our first our first topic, we want to talk about the rookie quarterbacks that have entered the NFL this year, specifically the first rounders. So, I think it's very easy to start with Caleb. Caleb was taken first overall by the Bears. People said that it was the best situation that a quarterback had been drafted into, which I don't necessarily a first round quarterback, first overall quarterback had been drafted into, which I mean, I don't know if I would say that, but it is a pretty
Coming
good.
into the season, it looks like it. It did.
Yes, on paper it did look like it. And I think to say that he has had a little bit of a rough time adjusting to the sort of speed of the NFL is definitely a truth. He's clearly struggling. But the Bears O-line is also pretty bad and kind of just gets their ass kicked on a weekly basis. So it's been really hard for him to adjust. But that being said, it's been interesting. He just threw his first touchdown pass this past weekend against your team, but could not get the win. Yeah, did you? I didn't watch that game. You watched. I'm assuming you watched that game. What did you see with Caleb?
So that he looked good. I know a lot of people are already panicking. I mean, he threw his first touchdown. That's pretty. That kind of blew my mind. He texted me earlier last week. He said, which rookie quarterback leads as the most passing touchdowns?" He said all of them.
Yep.
They're all tied. So that kind of blew my mind.
Zero.
I thought he looked good. I really did.
Okay.
I told you last week. You can't panic. My panic meter on a rookie quarterback, despite what situation he's going to, is not.
Yeah, unless it's Bryce Young last year, where you're like, wow, there's just nothing here. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, look at week 2. He was, that game hadn't finished by the time we were recording. I mean, he was pressured 36 times, 7
Yeah,
sacks,
yeah, he was getting
11
his ass
times,
kicked.
and it was. I mean, he got sacked 4 times again against Indy. There's a viral clip going around on their 4th and goal on the 1-yard line attempt. It was a speed option. 4 offensive linemen, a second after the ball snapped, were on the floor. They didn't,
Wasn't it defensive
they
lineman?
didn't get it. What's that?
Wasn't it defensive lineman?
No. The picture I sent you,
Yeah. Oh, that
they were on.
was offensive lineman?
Those are offensive linemen. Yes. I'll put it when I'm editing. I'll put the picture up on the video. Yes, they were going for it on 4th and goal. They had the ball at the 1-yard line, and immediately they snapped the ball. Almost all of their offensive linemen fall down.
Oh, they fell forward? Oh,
Yes,
dude.
and they took like a 7 or 8 yard loss, maybe even more. He pitched it to Swift, and there were just like 4 or 5 Colts in the backfield.
Oh my god. Yeah, they
Yes.
also, as a side note, the Bears gave DeAndre Swift so much fucking money, and what, neither here
They
nor
let
there.
David Montgomery walk so they could give DeAndre Swift a similar contract.
Yeah.
Worst rushing offense in the league. Keenan Allen's been missing for 2 games.
Yep. Roma Dunze sure looked good though.
He had a great game. Yeah, he scored his first touchdown. There's a cool little moment of him and Caleb fighting over who's going to get to keep it since they were both their first scorer in the NFL. I think he looks fine. He made some great throws. He looks smaller out there, but I mean, quarterbacks can do it. We've seen Russell
Yeah.
Wilson be successful. Drew Brees, Kyler's
Well,
tiny out there, looking
he's what,
good.
6'2", right?
And he looks smaller than that.
I just looked it up. Apparently, he is 6'1".
6'1". Yeah, not that there's
Anyway,
much of a difference. He looks smaller out there.
okay.
Granted, when he's being pressured because his offensive line can't do anything. Yeah,
Well, he's
let's
trying to do
yeah
what he did at USC, where he rolls out and makes a crazy play. Week 2, he had a play where like he rolled out, avoided a bunch of linemen, and like just threw it into triple coverage because in college that was there for him. But this is the NFL.
yeah.
Anything else on Caleb Williams?
I think he'll be fine. He made a couple great throws that were very USC, Oklahoma, Caleb reminiscent. Like he's rolling out, he's juking people out, broke a couple
Hmm.
sacks. Um, it'll get better for him down the line. I mean, you just got to figure it out. Like he can't put too much pressure on a
Yeah.
rookie. Yes,
No, for
again,
sure.
there's the chatter about the situation he was going into. I said he had a great running game now. He had three number one receivers, decent defense, but I mean that just hasn't happened. They have not looked good at all.
Yeah. On to the next quarterback who was selected at number 2, Jaden Daniels. He of course went to the Washington Commanders, and it's good timing because boy oh boy did he have a freaking lightning game last night. Have you like looked at the box score from this game?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So for those at home, he went 21 for 23 for 254, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks. And for a rookie, he also rushed for another touchdown. 12 attempts though, so not, it's a lot of attempts. But either
Yeah,
way,
he set the record for rookie quarterbacks completion percentage. It was 91.3.
yeah.
Missed two
Um,
passes all game.
Granted, the Bengals are not
Mm,
super elite when it comes to defenses. And maybe that's something we'll touch on. But he definitely outdueled Joe Burrow. Um,
he was the better LSU quarterback last
yeah,
night.
yeah, no, it's pretty crazy, and I don't necessarily know how sustainable this is, but right now Washington are just playing with house money because coming into the season, I think everyone kind of wrote them off and were like, no, they're going to be bad. But they have a cakewalk schedule, just at least for the next couple weeks. And I don't know. It's interesting to think that in the shitty NFC East, 9-8 could maybe do it, especially with the Cowboys sagging. I know Philadelphia just won, but sheesh, I don't even think Nick Sirianni is gonna last the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels,
I
thoughts, opinions?
thought he looked great. I mean, he currently obviously last night helped 91% completion, but he overall season overall, yes, he just threw his first two touchdowns. Um, but he leads the league in completion percentage right now. He's at 80.3.
I
No
did not
turnovers,
know
no
that. That's
interceptions.
crazy.
Yeah, he leads the league right now. No receptions on the season. He's not putting up amazing numbers. He hasn't had a 300-yard game yet, but I mean, he's got three touchdowns on the ground already, five touchdowns, no turnovers. I'm not
Is
100% sure if he has fumbled. So
is
no
he
turnovers in
gonna?
the air.
Are we gonna have 2 straight years where the number 2 overall quarterback was the right choice? Is this gonna happen? That'd be crazy.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of people who didn't even think that he should have been the number two pick. They
Yeah,
thought it should have
yeah,
been Drake
facts.
May. I
I
probably
I
was
I was
one of them.
first. I was surprised. I was very surprised when I saw him move up. Um, but hey, Heisman will do that. Um,
Granted, the dude is what 24 years old already. He'll
that's
be
true.
24 in a couple months, so older rookie. But no, I mean, he's looked good. He finally was getting the ball to Terry McLaurin. I feel like it's been so long since a quarterback in Washington has been able to consistently get that dude the ball.
Facts. Are you
Beautiful
excited?
touchdown to
Because
him to kind of ice that game.
I know you've got both on your fantasy team. That must be pretty nice.
Both.
Don't you
Which
have
ones?
Scary Terry and Jaden
Oh,
Daniels?
stacked them. Last night was the first game where it actually was beneficial for me. So last
Oh
night was
yeah.
good. I was gonna win regardless. Both those guys could have put up 0 points last night, and I would have won.
Mm,
But it was
nice.
nice. We'll see.
Nice.
I hope we can go forward because I was so close to giving up on Terry McLaurin.
So, anything else on Jaden Daniels?
He looks good. He
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, I think right now he kind of I mean, it's still very early. Only been 3 games played, but after 3 games played, he's probably, the number one choice for, you know, rookie quarterbacks this year.
He's
Drake,
currently the betting favorite for Rookie of the Year.
there you go. Drake May, I I mean, there's nothing here. He
He saw a little
late.
action.
Came in late, but I don't know, personally not enough to justify anything. Penix at 8. We haven't seen him. I don't even think Penix played in the damn preseason. Which
He played the first week. Looked really good. And then
there
they
you
said
go.
that's enough for us.
Back on the shelf. JJ McCarthy. Now we haven't seen a lick of JJ McCarthy. Because obviously got injured. Yeah. So that just leaves good old Bo Nix, who kind of just sunk your he sunk your survivor pool. Are you gonna jump back in, by the way?
I have to. I have to.
Yeah. Okay.
The pot's already at 20,000.
Yeah, I really did think about it, but I don't know. I think I gotta abstain. And now since I dropped 1 week, I can't join in another week, right?
Correct.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that though. Um, I'm okay with
Yeah, it's freaking Bo Nix, man. This guy,
it.
another old ass rookie.
Yeah,
This one is 24.
I remember watching Bo Nix play for Auburn against like
Mhm.
Alabama. Um, so and that was like I want to say like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So Bo Nix, he finally had his first good game, I would say.
First
He
not bad game.
First not bad game. Thank you. I did not watch this game completely, but Tampa Bay definitely got dominated. And it seemed kind of from the start that the game was over. Bo Nix, 1 touchdown on the ground, rushed for 47 yards. Half decent. 25 for 36 for 216 yards. Sure. I don't know. I think I saw Bo Nix look not good in the first 2 weeks, and this mediocre performance has not done a good job to wash that taste out of my mouth. Yeah, Bo Nix thoughts?
I think that's fair. Like I said, first not bad game. I mean, he's got 0 touchdowns on the year, 0 passing touchdowns on the year. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
4 picks
four
total. I
picks. Yeah, I was
mean,
gonna say 4 picks. Not great.
not great. He's not really pushing the ball down the field all too much. Completion
It
percentage is decent, but I mean, he didn't have to do too much. I guess that's
it's
y-
honestly
y-
like he's playing like I would in like a Madden my career with a quarterback where I just like straight up don't trust the CPU because my ratings are so bad. So it's just like, okay, nothing in the middle of the field, not taking any deep shots, just like keeping it short, bunch of picks here and there, a couple of unnecessary sacks here and there. Some rushes sprinkled in, that's what it feels like to me when I have watched Bo Nix play in this NFL of ours.
I say that's fair. That's fair. This was the first game where he kind of was finally able to get Cortland Sutton involved. 7 catches, 68 yards. At least he's targeting quite a bit. I mean, he had
Mm-hmm.
5 catches for 16 yards in the 2 previous games, or excuse me, That's not right. He had less than 50 yards, or just over 50 yards. Um, about 5 catches in the previous 2 games. So getting him involved a bit early, I think that's really what you got to do. I mean, outside of Cortland Sutton, though, little Jordan Humphrey is the second lead receiver
Saints
on his team.
legend.
Saints legend.
Adam
The
Troutman on there. Like,
very interesting uh roster construction, I thought. I I
I
wasn't a
just
huge
don't
fan
know
of
where
letting
this
Tim
roster's
Patrick leave.
going.
Yeah, I mean
AJ, where's this roster going?
I don't know. The run game's not it. It looks like Javonte Williams is just not going to be the same player he was before he tore his ACL,
I
which is
was
sad to see.
such a believer in Javante, man.
I fell for it last year. Fell
So
for it
did
this
I.
year.
I did not fall for it this year. I said you burned me last year, so I will pass.
Yeah, he's averaging 2.2 yards a carry. Has not broken more than what was it? His season high is 23 yards right now. So
Yeah, he lost a fumble this week too.
yeah, Tyler Batty stepped up, 9 carries, 70 yards. He might be the guy going forward. They got Jaleel McLaughlin that they use a lot.
Is he claimed in
Ojik
our fantasy
Estime.
league? That guy,
Jaleel or Batty?
Batty.
I don't know. I don't trust any running back. They have like four that they'll kind of rotate in and out.
Oh, he is on waivers. Let me just throw a little interested tag on that.
So yeah, I don't know where that roster is going. I think so far sample
I
size
mean,
is small. We've only seen three, but he's been by far the least impressive rookie in my opinion.
I just real quick on the Broncos. We haven't seen Sean Payton develop a quarterback in
Never.
I mean he and Drew Brees, like he deserves some of that development.
That was he.
But it's been 15 years, 15 years since we've seen Sean Payton legitimately develop a quarterback. So, I are we sure Sean Payton can still lead this team? Question mark.
No, I've never been sure about that.
Same
I was
here.
very
I was
vocal that they
shocked.
shouldn't have.
I was shocked we got a first round pick. Shout out Brian
Yeah,
Bresee,
it's
2 sacks
ridiculous.
this week.
And a dirty hit on AJ Brown.
I didn't think that was Bresee. I thought that was somebody else.
He was in on that pile up.
Oh, he was.
There was so many.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, it
shocked
was so
that
sick.
I was shocked. And then the comments were like, "Oh, typical Saints culture," and it's like, no, we're reformed,
It's
please.
Bounty Gate again, man.
Anyway, anything else on the rookie QBs before we move on?
Give them time. I think they'll be decent.
Yeah,
Like,
if you're a Bears fan or if you're a Broncos fan, just this is the curve with rookie QBs. Playing QB as a rookie is one of the hardest positions to pick up on the fly. It's like that and like tackle, I would say, are probably the hardest.
mhm.
Well, I mean, what do I know? But from what I hear. Yeah, all right. So moving on. So I think, had a couple podcasts this week, and not this week, but just with the football season. And we have not really gone into the Vikings. I wasn't really I wasn't a believer, I'll be honest. I wasn't a believer, and I didn't think that they would come out to a 3-0 start. But, here we are. Sam Darnold is doing the thing, man. He had 4 freaking touchdowns this past weekend. Like, if you told me that at the beginning of the season that the Vikes would be 3-0 and that Sam Darnold would, look the way he has. I mean, he's not turned into Patrick Mahomes or anything, but he's just he's playing on schedule. And he moves around well. He's younger than people think. Like, he's younger than Joe Burrow.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Oh, yeah, there's like a list of quarterbacks that he's younger than, and it was pretty funny. Like I think he's younger than Mahomes, Allen. They threw Geno on there, and it was like Geno's been in our lives since 2015. Like, why is he on this list? Anyway, so it's just I don't know. I'm not a Vikings fan. The Vikings have actually broken my heart a couple times, just with the Saints. But it is cool to see that, before the season, the vibes were terrible, terrible in Minnesota. You lose your quarterback that you just drafted, your third round pick dies, you have coaches with DUI, like just everything not good. And I don't know. They've been one of the early season surprises. They kicked the shit out of the Texans this week, 34-7. And I don't know. I think
Beat San
I
Fran
don't
the
know.
week prior.
Yeah,
Beat the
yeah.
shit out of the Giants the week prior.
Yeah, no, they've been playing like really sound football, and like their schedule isn't a nightmare. So could we see the Vikings going for the division title? What are you thinking about?
So this was another team where people were saying the rookie quarterback was coming into a really good situation with JJ
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, right? Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, whatever you thought about Aaron Jones coming into a new
The
situation,
Hawk.
being that old. TJ Hawkinson when he comes back, a solid O line. It's been a while since Minnesota's had a solid O line.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, he came in. Sam Darnold has been in some shit situations. Let's just put it that way. He is not
The Adam Gase
never
Jets, the
once.
Carolina Panthers. Oh my goodness.
Yes, never once has he looked good. Okay, let's just say that. But yeah, I mean, you said it. Adam Gase is yeah, horrible situation in New York. He sat behind what was it, Josh McCown for like a year before or not even a full year before he kind of got thrown in there. And then yeah, he was on that Carolina team last year, or the year before, I should say, with Baker and complete mess. Matt Rule, complete mess. Took a year in the backseat role, went and learned from a real coach from Kyle Shanahan with San Fran last year. And I mean, he's not, I don't want to say he's not lighting it up. He leads the league in touchdowns right now. He's got 8 touchdowns to 2 picks. But I mean, they're doing, they're beating the easy teams so far in the season, right? With New
And the
York,
hard ones
but
too.
and then they're decidedly winning those games. Like the Texans game, that was a huge statement piece. San Fran game as well. But San Fran's pretty beat up right now, so you can kind of give him a pass. Beating the Texans in the way that they did was huge. And he didn't even have to do too much. He threw 4 touchdowns, but he threw less than 200 yards. Like he just didn't have to do too much. It's fun to
Yeah.
see. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. It is fun to see. And, Brian Flores, I think, has had a faster turnaround, just in terms of like what people thought of him at the beginning of the season. Because, you had the Tua stuff come out where, Brian Flores is getting poo-pooed on and people are like, wow, Brian Flores, like, bad guy. And now we're at the point where, even before Tua got hurt, and actually, if Tua doesn't get hurt, there's still a conversation that happens that next morning because he was bad in the Buffalo game, and he got injured late. And because he got injured in the manner in which he did, because it was because it was a concussion, and he has a history. Um, that is what we talked about, rather than him fucking being cheeks. And they just gave him all that money. So, Brian Flores has had quite the turnaround, especially with his defense playing the way it is. He also, you can kind of tell when Brian Flores doesn't respect a quarterback because he just blitzes the fuck out of him. And it's not as stark as it was last year, just in terms of the difference between league average blitzes and what Brian Flores was doing. I think they blitzed at like a 50% clip last year, which is bananas. Now it's still the most, but not as much. And I don't know. It's just it's very interesting because it was like, oh yeah, Brian Flores sued the league. Is there any possible way that the league was kind of like, all right, poo poo on this guy? Like, come on. Not that the league would ever do anything shady. The NFL has
No,
never done
no,
anything shady. Never at all. But
no.
it's just cool that he is a part of this sort of renaissance. And I'm interested to see where this is going to go going forward because Sam Darnold is next year. He's going to be on a new team, and he's going to have an opportunity to start. Um, yeah, like if the Panthers are bad enough, do you just draft Travis Hunter and sign Sam Darnold and say fuck it? You know.
Bring him back, run it back. I don't
Anyway,
know.
do you
That's the
bel
definitive guy in the draft.
Do you
It's
think
gotta be.
that the Vikings do you think this Vikings run is sustainable for at least a playoff push, or do you think it's all going to fall apart and Sam Darnold will turn into a pumpkin again?
No, I definitely think it's sustainable. I mean,
Okay.
everybody else around him is. I mean, just kind of look at the history of Minnesota the last few years. They've had success with some iffy guys. Last year,
Oh,
Josh Dobbs
dude,
got him a couple
yeah.
wins. Case
Beat
Keenum, Sam
Josh Dobbs beat the
Bradford.
Saints last year.
They've had some. They've had some success with like less than ideal talent at quarterback. So
Shout
you
out
know,
Case Keenum.
shout out Matt Castle, Sam Bradford,
Yeah, before he
Teddy
tore
B
his ACL.
before his leg just
Popped.
disintegrated as well. So I think so. I mean, they're showing it like I said, he I've been more surprised, not more surprised. I've been very surprised with Aaron Jones as well. I would not have guessed that he actually was going to be still a decent, serviceable running back
Yeah,
this year.
the idea of serviceable running back, just in terms of the longevity of it, I think this year has really sort of made people shift their thinking with Kamara still putting out numbers, Derrick Henry still putting up numbers. As you said, Aaron Jones still putting up numbers. It's just, it's kind of cool to see for a position that everyone was kind of casting aside like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything else on the Vikings, the undefeated Vikings?
Roll man, Sam Darnold's MVP odds should be much higher than they are right now.
What are they?
He's like 12th from what I was looking at.
What?
Uh, yeah, he's behind too many people.
That's crazy,
I lost
dude.
I lost the exact odds in front of me. Okay, it's Vegas Insider plus 2,500.
Wow, 25
He's
to 1. That's crazy.
he's behind Brock, Dak, Kyler, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen.
He's behind Josh
Some
Allen. Bet put the bet on Josh Allen right fucking now. Put the bet on Josh Allen right fucking now.
no, Josh Allen has the best odds.
Oh, you were
He's odds
reading
on favorite.
it.
Yes, those are
Okay,
everybody
sorry.
that
Yeah,
has
yeah.
better odds. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
never mind. Sorry. I didn't understand. I was going to say bet the fucking house on that shit. Um no, okay, that makes sense. No, we're probably going to talk about the Bills next week. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. So, we just talked about the Vikings who are cooking, unexpectedly so, and I think it's kind of worry button time for these next two teams, the Cowboys and maybe the 49ers as well. I think it's I think the Cowboys it's easier to see, so I'll start with the 49ers. 49ers are obviously dealing with a lot of injuries right now, and it could just be like, oh, one of those seasons. Um, but it's also, I think there are some serious questions on the defense that need to be answered. Since D'Amico Ryan's left, this seriously formidable unit just hasn't seen the same production. And I think if there's anything besides injuries to point to the 49ers problems, it's that defense. I think you consume probably a decent amount of 49ers content just because, you have a family member who is a Niners fan. So you probably, pay attention to them a little bit more. What's your take right now? Are you worried for the Niners right now? Yeah.
I am, but I mean, they're beat up. They're missing too many players at premium positions. Defensive side, let's talk about it. Nick Bosa, he was kind of seen giving some low effort this weekend. Apparently, he's banged up. He's dealing with some injuries. Nonetheless, he's not going full speed. They just placed Javon Hargrave on IR, or he's likely going to miss the rest of the season with partially torn triceps. They're still missing Dre Greenlaw, who sadly tore his ACL in the Super Bowl. One of the saddest injuries I've ever seen.
Oh, the Achilles shit was. Ooh.
Achilles, yeah. So, I mean, they're missing some premium players. Afunga, I think I mean, he's coming back from injury. I'm not really too sure how he's been playing. So I don't see how well this team is going to be performing going forward. I mean, Brock Purdy's dealing with some back issues now. Ricky Pierce obviously got shot, so we haven't seen much from him.
I
Debo
can't believe
Samuel's
that. I
missing
still can't
time.
believe that fucking happened.
Kittle missed this last week. McCaffrey is very well likely going to miss the rest of the season. Who knows?
That's right. Kittle did miss time. I fucking had him on my team.
Yeah. Yes. I mean that's a lot of their premium players. One thing I will say is that Brock still looks. I still think he looks good. That was
I
one
mean,
of the
yeah,
things.
Jawan
If
Jennings
come
just
on,
got, yeah.
yeah. If it weren't for Bell dropping that pass, I don't know if you saw that. They could have had a chance to win. Ronnie Bell, Brock Purdy loaded up. He had two guys on him, but it bounced off his face mask. He had two key
Oof.
drops. A lot of people criticized Brock last year, saying he couldn't win unless he had the Avengers around him, right? Like he had everybody else. But I mean, he's missing so many premium players, and they're still he's alone is putting up individually some decent numbers still.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I think he has a good enough knowledge at this point of the offense, and he has the ability as a quarterback to just make it work. And yeah, no, it is cool to see, but I definitely would be concerned if I were a 49ers fan just going forward, especially for like Christian McCaffrey's health and shit. I don't know if you saw, but he apparently went to Germany um, just to see some specialists. So when that's happening, never great news to hear. So yeah, I don't think, as somebody who traded for him in fantasy, I'm a little worried that we're not going to see him until like
Playoffs, maybe if they make the
yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, a lot of people were speculating that he's having stem cell treatment now on his Achilles, but a lot of people were saying seemingly it seems like is going now to get the injections, whereas a lot of people thought that he had previously already gone to get the injections. So they're saying there's still 4 to 6 week turnaround time from that to see healing. So, I mean, he could still miss another month and a half on top of this time that he's already missed. So it's just not great.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're just like, oh, jeez, and I'm like, well, did he just like tear his Achilles? Like
And they
what,
didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't. This is kind of the part of the media that and with the like injury reporting that you're a little bit frustrated with, because you're like, what actually fucking happened? Because we heard all since this injury happened, we were like, oh, like he'll be back for the regular season. He'll be back for the regular season. And then regular season starts and he's not back. And then he's on IR and
Yeah, very similar injury slash reporting to Andrew Luck. The year that he retired, it
oh
started as a
yeah.
calf injury. Yeah, it was reported as a calf injury. The reporting on his timeline and all that very very similar. Like the transparency not necessarily being there.
Hmm.
Very very similar.
Interesting.
So Jordan Mason's look good. I think they're one more injury away from being a train wreck offensively.
You think?
Yeah,
You think
yeah.
if
If they
it's like
lose, I mean,
I don't
Ayuk's practically not even playing after the whole kerfuffle he made this offseason. He got paid and he's not really trying that much. If Debo Kittle, either of those guys miss more time throughout the season, or if Jordan Mason, something happens to their running game, it's it's going to be an issue for sure.
yeah, no,
Because because
that's a fair
be- be-
point.
because Los Angeles is dealing with a ton of issues too,
But
and
I do think though that Sean McVay has proven that he is the best coach in the NFL.
I think I agree with you there. But
Like,
regardless,
sorry, that's just
like me,
little hyperbole, little note, but like, just what he's done. I mean, what do I always say? I love coaches who do more with less, and I don't know if anyone's done more with less than fucking Sean McVay.
I agree with you. There was, had San Fran won this game, even if they barely won, they might have been they might have felt a little bit better about their week 2 loss against Minnesota, seeing Minnesota beat Houston the way that they did. Maybe okay, maybe Minnesota is better than we thought. That
Maybe they're
lost like
not
that,
cheats and we're okay.
but you know, now you're 1-2. You sit there with the Rams and the Cardinals, and the Seahawks are coasting at 3-0. So it's 3 weeks into the season, but not much. There's not a whole lot of time to kind of get things on track.
Yeah. Anything else on the Niners before we move on?
Like I said, I hope they avoid injuries and they kind of shore it up a little bit because it's fun. NFL is fun when the Niners are good.
Yeah, and I think NFL is good when uh, Kyle Shanahan is involved. Are you aware of the Niners schedule?
I know they had a hard schedule coming into the season. Who are they
Well,
got
it's
this week?
so this week I would say is probably their easiest game of the season. Um,
Okay.
and that's home against the Patriots. So you think like, okay, like they got this. Can I read you their schedule just rest of the year?
Let me hear it.
It's fucking insane. Home for the frisky Cardinals, and that's a divisional game, so all right. Away Seattle, home Chiefs, home Cowboys, at Buccaneers, home Seattle, at Green Bay, at Buffalo, home Chicago, home Rams, at Miami, home Lions, end the season at Arizona. That's ridiculous. You could make an argument for all of those teams to make at least a wild card besides the Patriots. A legitimate argument right now. Maybe not the Bears,
Uh,
but still, this is this is a team who's gonna face some good fucking football teams going forward. I'd
And the
be
thing is, they
ooh.
they they needed to do it this year because they already have so many players on huge contracts, and they're gonna have to pay Brock Purdy.
Yeah, you gotta get a cap specialist in there like New Orleans does.
Just push it to next year and sign a Taysom Hill type deal.
Dude, I don't even know because if the contracts aren't structured in a way where they can be restructured to have their players get their base salaries as signing bonuses, it's ooh, it's not
Yeah,
great. It's not
it's not
great.
great. I mean, seeing what all these other guys got paid to Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence, seeing what these guys just got paid. I mean, Brock's gonna get more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It's gonna
I
be
I agree. Brock's
he's gonna
been
be
to
the
the
highest
Super
paid.
Bowl. Brock's been to the Super Bowl. I think you can point at Dak and be like, you need to pay me more than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has not been to a Super Bowl. I have. Pay me more than Dak Prescott. I think he can make that argument. And it's fucking insane.
I agree.
Anyway, so moving on to the other team that I think people need to be worried about. And they're playing on Thursday Night Football this week. The Dallas Cowboys. Woo! I think Cowboys fans probably felt pretty good about how this season started, just kind of dunking on the Browns. People think that the Browns, I think people before the season thought that the Browns could at least be a playoff contender. So when they beat them pretty soundly, Cowboys fans were excited. But now you've had 2 weeks in a row where you have not looked good. And yeah, you play the Giants this week, but the schedule ain't getting easier after that. No, it is fucking not. Not even close. Especially if Washington is half decent. Oh my goodness. And I think it's more of a defense thing right now. I don't know quite how many points they gave up uh, in 6 quarters there. But it was a lot. It was a lot. They gave because the Ravens didn't score that many points in the second half, if any. And yeah, they gave up like six. Essentially, they gave up like 60 points in 6 quarters. That's fucking terrible. Mike Zimmer was brought in to fix the defensive issues, and now you're just getting your ass kicked. I know it was a close game towards the end, but
Uh,
I don't know. I think there are serious issues in Dallas right now. You don't have a reliable number 2 wide receiver. Tight end is iffy at best. You have zero running game, like literally nothing at running back. Yeah. What are you thinking with this team?
yeah, I think you just hit it on the head. Rushing game horrible. They're the third worst rushing team in the NFL right now. They've allowed third most points, barely, almost second. The only teams who allow more are Carolina and the Rams. They're allowing almost 30 points a game. They're letting up a shit ton of rushing yards already as well. So I don't even know where the issue stands with them. I mean, like I thought the Colts were the Colts were the worst rushing offense or rushing defense coming into week 3 by far.
Mm-hmm.
And they played Chicago, who had the worst rushing offense. So it was like a movable object versus a stoppable force. I saw someone say, like, who's going to give? Is
Right, right,
Chicago going
right.
to finally get their run game going? Is Indy going to finally step up and stop? They held them to 60 some rushing yards. So now all of a sudden, Colts are no longer the worst rushing defense in the league. It's Dallas. And I thought we were going to hold that spot for quite a while, just with how
Must feel
bad they've
good
been.
to have the title wrestled away from you.
I mean, we've still allowed 537 yards through 3 games. So, but Dallas has allowed 557.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even know where it's coming from. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even passing wise, they're not fantastic. Like they're middle of the pack. And then they were getting, I know they're missing Deron Bland, but they were getting Trayvon Diggs back. You know, another year with Micah. You really thought that defense should have been what's carrying them, and it's not. Who knew that
No.
Dan Quinn was holding that much together? Actually,
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very funny to bring in Mike Zimmer. Who's just I mean, you could have said Ron Rivera. You could have said we're keeping Dan Quinn and it all would have been the same. And here we are 3 weeks through and yeah, Mike Zimmer's defense looks antiquated as shit. Anyone surprised? Um I don't know what their outlook going forward is, you literally just gave Dak all that money. You just gave CD all that money, and you're gonna have to pay your defense now. So it's not
I mean,
it.
Micah Parsons is going to look to be the highest paid non-quarterback. I don't know how they do it.
Oh, without a doubt. And unlike Dak, he fucking deserves it. He's gonna get Nick Bosa money, and as he should. Um, yeah, no, he'll get Nick Bosa money like he should, and Dallas. I mean, there's no way that Parsons gets traded, right? Right.
How do you pay him? With what money do you pay him?
You cannot let him walk. You can't let him walk. Like you can't let him walk. He's too like you don't get that level of pass rusher and just defensive player in general. It's not falling out of trees. And for Dallas, when you unless you're going to reboot the entire thing, which they won't because they just gave Dak all that money, you have to re-sign him. Yeah, unless there
So,
is
so they
yeah.
already picked up the fifth-year option.
Mhm.
So that will kick it down. Maybe they give themselves another year. I mean, he's eligible to start negotiating for a contract now. If I were him, like you said, he's going to get highest paid non-quarterback money. Who's that right now? Justin Jefferson.
Um, I think it's Justin Jefferson, yeah, because he
He's
just got the deal.
he's gonna want that kind of money. So I mean, we live in a time where so many players start holding out early on. But I mean, they could control him for a little bit while longer. Fifth-year option,
Fifth year option, and
franchise
then two
tag,
years,
or
and then 2 years of
y-
franchise tag. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, their cap space next year, they got 29 million available so far without restructuring. As Dak
How
as
many free agents are on the roster right now?
I'd have to look at that. I'd have to look that up.
That's it. It might be. I mean, they're fucked, right? They've
Okay,
just painted.
so
They've
Zach
just
Martin
painted
is also
themselves into this corner.
Zach, Zach Martin also needs a contract at the end of the year.
Oh, he's a free agent after the season.
hmm
Oh my god, dude.
So I mean, that one I could definitely see them letting him walk just because he's older. I mean, they've invested into the offensive line. They have two first-round picks the last 2 years. They let they let Tyron Smith walk. So
Right, he went to the Jets.
you know, oh
Interesting
man,
fucking times,
Zeke's gonna
man.
be a free agent again. Brandon Cooks, Demarcus Lawrence.
They won't be on the team next year.
Those are the biggest three.
Oh, if that's
Demarcus
the
Lawrence,
okay, then that's not
Zach Martin,
actually
and
that
Brandon
bad.
Cooks.
They'll find a way. I think they'll find a way to keep Martin because he's such a valuable piece of that O line. But all those others, they will not be on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess they
Demarcus
have kind
Lawrence
of locked
is.
everybody up. Did Deron Bland get paid?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
No, he's still in his rookie year. Third
Anyway,
year, so
it's
yeah,
but they
it's not looking
they're
great.
I think they have really painted themselves into a corner, and without them drafting somebody like Micah Parsons, I think the team is fucked for 3 years in the future. That Dak contract, I mean, it's already a bag of poop. You
I
know,
didn't see it. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't, I didn't, I didn't think that they would give him all of that money
No,
and just,
no.
oh my god. And like, yeah, you can say like, oh, we have CD and Dak for the next, however many years. What,
If they
what has
lose,
Dak done for you?
I mean,
You
Dak's been
know,
decent, but winning playoff games doesn't even matter anymore.
I don't
contract-wise.
know. I don't know. Like, can you at least win 2 playoff games in a season? You know?
I mean,
No.
look at the top paid quarterbacks. None of them have much success. Dak, Jordan Love, first year starting, Trevor Lawrence.
I'm sorry, the top what quarterbacks? The top paid
These are
quarterbacks?
the top
Oh.
paid quarterbacks this year. Trevor Lawrence. Joe Burrow gets so much credit for his Super Bowl loss. I saw something the other day that said Joe Burrow gets more credit for his Super Bowl loss than Matt Stafford does for his Super Bowl win. And it's a little true.
That's very true. Matt
But I do
Stafford
love
Matt Stafford is like, I think he's a top 10 quarterback of all time. You know?
the Joe Shiesty though. Come on.
It is crazy because if the Bengals have a bad year, there's going to be a swing back on Joe Burrow that's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty fucking heavy swing.
I mean, they're almost all but statistically out of the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
not
0-3
many
teams
start on 3. They're
0-3 teams do not cut it. And they are already in a position where they have a must-win game. They also have not played a divisional game yet. So yeah, you do get to play the Browns twice. You do get to play the Panthers, Giants, Raiders, Titans, and Broncos. So there is potential for them to kind of, recover here. Like they could be sitting at 4-3 after week 7 because they go at Panthers, home Ravens, at Giants, at Browns. Those are all winnable games.
Could you tell me the last team to start 0-3 that made the playoffs? Won their division, 2018. AFC.
I was gonna say it's not the Saints.
AFC South.
Is it the Colts?
No, I wish we made the playoffs that recent.
I was trying to think of when Phillip Rivers.
We made it to Phillip Rivers years 2021, but it was the Texans in 2018. So, and before that was 20 years, 1998. So it doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Just a side note about that Texans team. I remember watching as they were up like 28-0 or whatever on the Chiefs, and I looked at a betting site, and the Chiefs live were like plus 800, and I was like, I remember having the thought, I'd be like, it'd be funny if I just threw $10 on that, and I didn't, and the Chiefs came back and won, and I didn't win money, but that's okay. Anyway, we're starting to ramble. Anything else on the Cowboys?
We'll do a temp check next week after they play the Giants.
I mean, I think they beat the Giants, but if they don't,
we'll see
fuck. Yeah, if Malik Neighbors has like a 2-touchdown, 150-yard game against them, boy.
Temp check next week.
Boy, watch out. Bill Belichick watch on full alert for both them and Jacksonville.
We'll see.
Anyway, you got anything else before we head out?
Hey man, I'm done betting. Don't let me bet next week.
Oh, did you get killed this week? I forgot to look at it.
I've gotten killed all season. I've not won a single bet all season.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, the Saints are underdogs this week, so if you want to win some back, bet on the Saints.
Maybe.
Anyway, look forward to beating you in fantasy this week. It'll be delightful. Can't wait to go 4-0. I've never presided over a team this good. Feels good. So I'll see you on the mat.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure you're checking us out on Instagram. Make sure you're checking us out on Twitter. We are on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, everything, everywhere, all at once. That's where we are, baby. Tell your friends. Check out previous episodes. And, look forward to more episodes. Hope y'all had a great time listening. I know I did. Recording. But yeah, AJ, thank you again for joining. And yeah, see y'all at the next one. Peace out.
See ya.